Hey heathens, it's Gundidi, and this week I got something cool for you. We've done so many semi-autos in the recent weeks that I think it's time to change things up a little bit. I am a huge fan of revolvers. I'm pretty sure most of you are too. So this week we got something really cool for you. This week it is the Smith&Wesson 686 Performance Center Competitor. This thing is a beast of a gun. We got a 6-inch weighted barrel. This thing's got weights that you can counter in here depending on how much weight you want on it. So it's designed for competition shooting. The weight on the front keeps that muzzle down, keeps it recoiling low so you can get that fast follow-up shot. It's got really nice target style sights. This is a fully adjustable rear sight for elevation and windage. You got a Picatinny rail up on top, so if you want to throw your red dots on there or a scope, you could. It's got a nice blacked out sights. Very nice, comfortable grip. I mean, this thing is huge. This is a huge framed revolver. This one specifically is attached with a Hogue extended cylinder release, so that way you can get that release open even quicker for competition use. Like I said, this one does have weights in the front there, and you can adjust these weights however you like. I believe the person I'm borrowing this from has the full weights on this, so it's got all the weight on the front end, so there should be no muzzle rise on this guy. It is a really nice revolver. This one is a 6-shot, so it's not the 7-shot 686, but still a great revolver for what it is. I'm going to shoot this a little bit because I definitely want to see how she does, but I'm going to go ahead and compare it to another revolver that's specifically designed for low recoil. So I want to see how this guy does to that and see if there's a difference in muzzle rise. There's going to be a lot different in felt recoil, but will there be a big difference in muzzle rise? That's what we're going to be checking out. But definitely something to check out. We're going to throw some rounds in this bad boy and just see how she shoots. All right, guys, so I got my eyes and ear protection on. As always, that's the first thing you should do if you're going out to the range. Get some eyes and ears. If you don't have any, check the links in the description below because there's some good options out there, along with these new America walkers. I think they're kind of cool. But definitely something you should get if you don't have any ears, because you only get one set of eyes, one set of ears, right? All right, we're all loaded up. So we got 38 special in this guy right now. So those who don't know, 357 can shoot either 38 special or 357. Now, one thing I will say is if you are a avid shooter of your revolvers in 357 and you shoot a lot of 38, you should definitely clean your cylinders out on a regular basis with a nice bore brush, because 38 is a slightly shorter round than 357. I'll show you here in a moment. All right, we got 38 special right here, 357 here. As you can see, 357 is a bit longer than the 38s, so you can get a powder ring that forms right here where the bullet meets the casing. So definitely clean your guns very thoroughly if you shoot a lot of 38s through it. But this is in a 357. First rounds we're going to put out is a 38 because, you know, 38 special is a fun round for target shooting, and most people that shoot out at the range don't like to spend the money for 357. So we're going to start out with 38s and see how she does. Now with this weighted barrel, I assume it's going to be very low in recoil, but let's go ahead and check this guy out. We're going to go single action first. Oh yeah, let's check that out one-handed. I mean, it's like shooting a BB gun, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's go ahead and double action this bad boy. Well, I'm definitely no Jerry Mitchellek. But let's go ahead and double action one-handed this last shot here, and then I'm going to show you the trigger on this bad boy. Yeah, definitely no Jerry Mitchellek. But like I said, this does have that extended cylinder release, which makes it really nice for opening it up and just tossing those bad boys out. Let's go ahead and show you. It is an empty firearm, completely empty. Let's go ahead and show you that trigger pull. So we're going to start in single action. So single action means that hammer is already cocked back. The trigger is in its pre-stage for releasing the sear. So let's go ahead and check that out. We're gonna go right to the trigger. There's no give at all. It's right there on the wall. And it is so slight. I don't know if you even saw the trigger move on camera, but it is so slight. That is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and check the double action trigger on this bad boy. So it is long, but smooth. You can hear that click, and then a break. It's actually a really nice trigger for what it is. Well, it is a really nice trigger, period. And this is... one thing I didn't show you is reset, of course, because it is a revolver. Revolvers reset at the full double action trigger. There's not really any difference between that and any other revolver. But the trigger pull itself is ridiculous. As you saw in single action, you can sneeze on this and it'll go off. But you guys came here to see us shoot 357, right? So let's go ahead and get some 357 loaded up and see how she does. All right, so we are shooting a 357 Magnum. This is PMC bronze, 158 grain, jacketed soft point. So it is a decent round to be shooting to test this guy to see how she reacts. So we're gonna put some rounds on target and see how the felt recoil is. All right, so we got some 357 loaded up in this bad boy. Let's see how she feels under recoil of a full power 357 load. So let's go ahead. Remember, with revolvers, you don't want to run a thumb forward grip because that cylinder gap right here between the cylinder and the forcing cone will burn you. So keep your thumb back. Don't run a thumbs forward grip, even though you really want to. Just remember to keep your thumb back. But let's go ahead and shoot a couple rounds and see how she does. 357 Magnum, single action. Woo! That was fun. Not bad in recoil. Comparing it to that like 617 titanium that I had a while back, this thing shoots a lot less aggressive. But let's go ahead and check it out one-handed and see how she looks. Not bad, honestly. There wasn't a whole lot of muzzle flip. I kind of exaggerated that muzzle flip. So let's go ahead and shoot that one more one-handed without the exaggeration. Not bad at all. There's a lot of recoil impulse right here on the grip, but overall, especially with this very nice soft rubber grip, it is very low in recoil. I mean, that is ridiculously low for a 357. Let's go ahead and put another round in there one-handed just so you guys can see what I mean. It is it is a pleasure to shoot in 357. That's very rare. But let's go ahead and pop off these last two rounds, and then I'm gonna see how she does at a little bit of pace when I'm shooting it. All right, so we got all 6 shots of the 357. We're gonna load her up 6 more shots of, we're gonna do 38s and just see how fast we can go. All right, so we got her loaded up with 6 more shots of 38 special. This is a competitor revolver, so we wanna see how fast I could shoot it. Now, yet again, I'm no Jerry Miculek, and this trigger is not super fine-tuned. It's just the way it comes from the factory, from Performance Center. So let's go ahead and pop off these rounds pretty quick and see how she does. Now, I'm not aiming at anything particular. I'm just going fast. Woo! And all 6 rounds are spent, and she is fast. Oh man, she is fast. A lot faster than I could shoot. Someone like Jerry could probably make this go a lot quicker. But she is fast, she's easy to manage the recoil, and God, that is so much fun. But speed without the full power load might not represent it the best. So let's go ahead and throw some 357 in and see how she does there. So I got 6 more rounds of 357, but I gotta say, when you're holding this big bad boy, kind of feel like Rick Grimes. Cool! Definitely a cool revolver. Definitely feels really nice in the hands. But let's go ahead and see how she shoots fast with 357. That was all 6 rounds there. That thing was fast, and she jammed up a little bit. She got a little hot. Definitely a fun revolver to shoot fast. There's like almost no recoil, so you can get those rounds off very quick. One more thing I want to see before I compare it to the next one. Because it reminds me so much of the Python that Rick Grimes uses, I'm wondering how she shoots like Rick Grimes. You know, Rick Grimes has a specific way of shooting that is very interesting on how he gets headshots all the time. But let's go ahead and try that. So, you gotta do the whole move. Go! Oh, that is ridiculous. I did hit the target once, so maybe it works. I don't know. Like I said, I do want to compare it to another revolver that is specifically designed for recoil management in mind. So I have the 686 Competitor. This one is a really neat revolver. Like I said, it is designed for low recoil, low muzzle flip, because it's got a lot of weight on the front end of that barrel. But there's another revolver that I own that is specifically designed for recoil management, and that is the Chiappa Rhino. Now, this is not the best comparison because this is a 4-inch, this is a 6-inch, but the Chiappa Rhino is designed with the barrel on the bottom of the chambers, so that way the recoil impulse is in the webbing of your hand, not above your hand. So it's supposed to keep that muzzle from rising as much. So I really want to see how the 686 Competitor with its weights affect muzzle rise in comparison to a totally redesigned revolver with the barrel on the bottom cylinder. So we're going to go ahead and load her up with some 38s. We're going to see how they both react under recoil for that, and then we'll throw some full power 357 and see how they go over there. All right, so we got full loads of 38 special on both revolvers. So let's go ahead and see how the recoil impulse is felt on each of them. So we're going to go one-handed. We're going to go single action on both revolvers, see how they go. So we're going to start with the 686 Competitor and see how she feels. All right, now we're going to switch it up. All right, now we're going to go to the Chiappa Rhino. Like I said, this is the 40DS, so this is a 4-inch barrel on this guy. But we're going to go single action. Honestly, I really can't tell. So let's go ahead and put them side by side and see how they do. Now, I am shooting this one left-handed, so we'll see. We'll go single action on both. Switch up hands. All right, well, quick assessment just from side by side. When I'm holding them in my right hand, I wasn't even sure I shot that last round on this guy. I'll have to watch the camera footage because I don't think the last round even went off, but there's 6 rounds in the dirt, so I don't know. Just didn't feel like anything out of this guy. There was a tiny bit of recoil out of this guy, but nothing in the right hand. In the left hand, both guns felt a little bit on the more aggressive side, but that's because I'm right-hand dominant. But we came here to see full loads, so let's go ahead and throw some 357 in these bad boys and see how they do. Okay, so I have 357 loaded up in the 686 now. We're going to do single-handed, single action, see how she feels, and then we're going to compare her to the Chiappa Rhino in the same 357 Magnum. So, okay, not bad. Now let's go ahead and check out the Chiappa. Single action, one-handed. Okay, so I will say muzzle flip seems like it's less in the Chiappa Rhino than the competitor, but I will say the felt recoil is totally different. In the Chiappa Rhino, all that recoil hits you right here, but it feels like you're trying to pull down that grip down here. Because that muzzle is kind of almost shooting straight back at you instead of over your hand, you kind of compensate by squeezing a little harder on your pinky, and it kind of feels like you're gonna snap the bottom of the grip off. But the muzzle flip seems like it's a lot less. Comparing it to the 686, the muzzle flip on this guy is very traditional revolver over your hand. So there is a little bit more muzzle flip, but the recoil is a lot more intuitive to what you're used to when it comes to a revolver. But let's go ahead and dual wield these guys, see how they feel, and see if there's a difference in felt recoil that way. Wow! Ow! There was a lot of pressure and unspent powder blown right back in my face doing that. Woo! Let's go ahead and do that one more time. Oh, that is ridiculous. We'll switch hands, do both of these single action. This is the last round, so we'll see how they feel. Woo! That is so much fun. 357 Magnum is such a fun round to dual wield. Like I said, there's a lot of unspent powder that goes right across your arms as you're shooting that, because a Magnum load out of a 4-inch barrel is ridiculous. All right, so what's my final first thoughts on the Smith&Wesson 686 competitor? I think it's a phenomenal revolver. It is so nice to shoot this guy. In comparison to almost any other revolver I've shot, it is very low in recoil, especially that muzzle flip. So those who are trying to get into a 357 Magnum, this wouldn't be a bad option for you, except the price tag. These guys are pretty pricey, and that's comparing it to the Chiappa Rhino. This is still more expensive than the Chiappa Rhino, and by like $400 or $500, you can almost buy a whole nother revolver for what you spend on this guy compared to the Chiappa Rhino. Now, do I think it's $400 or $500 more worth it? Honestly, yes. And the reason I say that is if you plan on shooting competition with revolvers, or you just really enjoy shooting revolvers, this guy is a pleasure to shoot. The Chiappa Rhino is more of a novelty piece, something to tell your buddies that you have one. It's really not effective in almost any situation because the height over bore for those sights is a little to get used to. I think it's more of a novelty piece. I love the Chiappa Rhino, but honestly, this guy would be probably better for almost every situation. The only thing I could think of it that this wouldn't be good for is concealed carry, because that barrel is ridiculous and it weighs a lot. The Chiappa Rhino is probably better for that. But in almost every other situation, even hunting, I probably would go with the 686 competitor over the Chiappa Rhino. That's my opinion. But I want to hear your comments on it. Let me know in the comment section if you've shot this 686 competitor. It is a really beautiful revolver. Let me know in the comment sections if you have, how you think it is compared to every other revolver you've shot, including other 686s. I wish I had another 686 to bring out here to compare it to, but I've shot 686s before, and this one is significantly less in recoil, and that trigger is ridiculous. But this is my first thoughts opinion on the 686. I think it's a really neat revolver. Do I think it's worth the money? Yes. Do I think that you should go out and buy it right away? If you have the money to spend, sure. But if you're just trying to find a revolver that will compensate for your inaccuracies, just get a lot of ammunition and shoot your current revolver until you get so good at it that this thing becomes a cheat code. But nonetheless, that's my first thoughts opinion. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon if you haven't, because my subscribers have not been seeing my videos lately, and I think it's because YouTube throttles it down. So go ahead and hit that bell icon. YouTube likes to demonetize these videos, so definitely check out the link in the description for gundeity.com, where you can get cool merch. We have hats, we got shirts, you name it, that helps support the channel. And click any links in the description below where you can get safety glasses, ear protection, all that fun stuff. Stuff I can't post on YouTube will also be posted on the website. So definitely go check that out. Guys, as always, I'm Gundeity, and I will see you heathens for the next one.
I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a